Well, good evening, Delvers. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Delve and Dash, right here at Proficiency Bonus. My name is Michael, your most humble and merciful Dungeon Master for the evening. Once again, I want to throw out some quick shout-outs and big thank yous to some of our supporters here at Proficiency Bonus. First off, I would like to thank Twitch, Streamlabs, Team MZ, Many-Sided Dice, and our good friends over at Little Dragon Corp for all their ongoing support. If you type in the exclamation point Little Dragon in the Twitch chat, you will get a quick link to their storefront where you can purchase all kind of cool dice and other RPG related gear. And if you use the coupon code PROBONUS, that's a new coupon code for us. PROBONUS, you'll get 10% off of your order, just because you were hanging out with us. So that's pretty cool. We're gonna go ahead and get started. I've got Ani will be here. She's running just a smidge late, so she's going to jump in as soon as she gets back. And we're going to do a quick recap since we weren't here last week. The group joined back up with their caravan headed north as they've been, I guess, stalking the caravan leaders who are presumed to be members of the Cult of the Dragon, taking some merchandise that they had stolen from nearby communities and have been traveling north with it. After stopping in Daggerford, the group decided to begin heading north, met by their newest member of their group, Shard, who was hired along for this expedition. They made their way north, only to discover that there was a new individual, a gnome woman clad in dark leathers, who seemed to be kind of suspiciously moving about the caravan, inspecting everything and getting to know everybody a little bit more flamboyantly than some of the other travelers. Continuing to follow north, they took a rest and woke up the next morning surrounded by mushrooms, in which Dusk believes are highly, highly poisonous. Do not want to breathe the spores of these mushrooms. The rest of the party determined that they were what are called shriekers, which basically if they get smashed or pulled out, they let out this terrible wail of pain and cause you to feel a little depressed about it. And that's where we dive back into our adventure, as they wake up in another cold, rainy, wet morning. Mushrooms surrounding you. A little bit of fog in the distance. As you can see, these mushrooms are all around. There's some even growing in the road. It's terrible looking. Some of the other people in the caravan are starting to panic a little bit. They're not really sure what to do. Some of them are gingerly tiptoeing like through to different spaces. Dusk looks and he watches in terror as a couple are just like moving about. One almost bumps one of the mushrooms that have grown to about probably like 6 inches out of the ground at this point. And they were not here when you guys laid down to rest.
So Franklin is just gonna cover what would be his ears in moss with druidcraft.
Okay.
And just to scare everybody, he's just gonna kick one of the mushrooms out of the ground.
Okay. You kick a mushroom out of the ground. You hear this like squeal. I hurt my throat on that one. It's terrible. A squeal of this terrible, it just feels like the most awful pain that you've ever heard some creature be in its life. And then it just
exactly why I covered my ears.
And it just kind of dies out, and you see everybody kind of looking over. Some of the other people in the other caravans are looking over as they're just, a lot of people are contemplating, like some people were just struggling just to roll up their bedroll, like, because the mushrooms have just grown all around you guys.
I'm just gonna deadpan at Franklin and conjure like earplugs and put earplugs in my ears.
Okay.
Since Franklin usually sleeps on the ground in his shell, do I have some growing on my shell now?
You don't.
Darn.
They grew around you in the night, so there are some like around your. There's just like this circle where you were laying, and then all these shrooms are growing up around you.
Okay.
Franklin, let's try not to do that. That was a very high-pitched noise that made. They seem not to be poisonous like I originally thought, but let's try to make it not make that sound ever again.
I only wanted to do it once.
Thank you. Because you said these are actually in the roadway, correct?
Yeah, they're on
Like
the road.
gonna impede us from
Yeah,
moving.
they're everywhere. Like as far as your eyes can see, like it's just crazy. I mean, there's like a nice morning fog that have set in because of all the just wet weather you guys have been getting. But yeah, for like as far as you guys can see, mushrooms, and the more you consider, or the more you can like sit there and watch, you can almost see them growing rapidly. Like if you stop for a minute and just watch, they're just slowly rising.
Is this magical?
Make an Arcana check.
19.
19. It's possible. You've never seen. I mean, mushrooms. I mean, fungus in general can grow pretty fast. You have never seen it grow this fast.
Yeah.
But it may be just something about this area that you're in.
Okay.
Maybe a good. Also, the fact that it's been raining for 2 days too also helps, but it still wouldn't cause mushrooms to grow this fast.
Shard, have you ever seen anything like this before in this area, by chance?
Michael, have I seen anything like this before, by chance?
I'll have Shard make a nature check.
Sure. 16.
16. This is rare. No, I don't think Shard would ever seen anything like this. Not this vast. I mean, you've seen patches of mushrooms before, but it's to be like as far as you can see, it's pretty wild.
I have seen mushrooms. I have heard screamers. Not usually the same.
I'm just gonna cast detect magic just in case
Okay, you cast and detect
with
magic.
my
Is it a?
Furbolg.
Is it with your Furbolg ability?
Yeah.
Is it like an innate kind of spellcasting type thing, or do you have to?
Uh,
I didn't know if you could cast as a ritual or anything like that. So
it just says I can cast detect magic and disguise self once per short rest.
for sure. Okay, perfect.
Can you guys hear me?
I can.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, I just gotta drive home quick.
Okay. Yeah.
I now have like,
The new microphone works.
Okay.
All right. You cast and detect magic. Look around. There is a faint magical aura, but it seems to be just coming from the ground. But
Do I get a school of magic, perhaps?
Conjuration?
Hey, I'm getting a fake conjuration essence from the ground.
Well, I think maybe our best bet is to just try and clear a path and get out of this area as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Unless everybody else had any ideas.
I agree.
I must
You should tell wagon
look forward to
masters
see
to
if
leave. Run right over mushrooms.
I agree. I think we just drive right over the mushroom. Stripes has the right idea.
the 5 caravans in front of us. Are they actually doing anything? This is happening?
They're all just kind of inspecting and trying not to step on them because they're not even sure what they are. They heard what Franklin did, and some of them like looked over that were in the close vicinity. But the other ones are still just kind of like looking around, trying to determine what their best course of action is. You do hear an occasional scream every once in a while from different parts as somebody accidentally steps on one of the mushrooms or accidentally or inspects it. It's like, I wonder if I pluck it. And it goes, ah! And it lays out that terrible scream of like death wail.
Is Creepy also spying lady still here? Or is she just gone?
Yeah, she's here.
Oh, okay.
She seems to be doing much of what everybody else is doing, like just looking around trying to see what's going on, and nobody seems like all gung-ho about making a 100% decision.
All right, everybody, let's just keep it moving. This is a waste of time. Cover your ears and run them over.
What are the Martian? Run them over? What, did you hear that terrible noise they're making?
Cover your ears. That's the whole point of the first half of my sentence.
But they're so loud.
Franklin is gonna cast Speak with Plants.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna start talking to the mushrooms like, why'd you grow here? What's going on?
Okay. That's
That's fair. That'll do it.
I didn't even realize I had the spell prepared.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
I'm wondering why I prepared this spell
Okay,
from I don't know how long ago.
I can't do this without a voice processor, but you get like in unison about 1,000 voices like speak back to you and say, "We were planted here." So imagine
How long ago?
hundreds of these things saying this to you. Hard to say.
Would you let us pass?
We can't move.
I got 10 minutes of this, guys.
I'm gonna go and start heading out to let the wagon masters know that we think that they should try and get people together and move out.
Okay.
Hopefully beyond this.
Okay. Make a dexterity check for me as you're tiptoeing through this massive field of mushrooms.
19.
Right here. Oh yeah, no problem. You're really good at staying on your tippy toes, Shard, making your way through some of the gaps that you see on the ground, the wet ground. You make your way and you start communicating to some of these guys, and it seems like a lot of them eventually start to say, okay, yeah, we're gonna have to get moving anyway because we can't be delayed. We've got a shipment to take. We've got to get this to Waterdeep. So. Eventually, after a little time of that, Franklin, is there any more questions that you're asking the Shrooms as you're sitting there communicating?
I want to ask you a question, Michael.
Oh yeah, sure.
There are some plants in the real world that are like one organism, but dozens of sort of trees or plants or whatever.
Yeah.
Do these mushrooms seem kind of like that? Like they're one organism? Or are they each one something different?
No, they seem to be each one something different. Is that,
Okay.
Does that mean like when speak with plants? Does that mean you can speak with any plants?
Yes,
Yeah.
I can speak with any plant.
Yeah, sure. I just didn't know if there was a limitation. Like I can speak with plants on that one mushroom right there, or something. You know, it's like.
Oh, you imbue the plants within 30 feet of you.
Oh, so 30 feet. Yeah. So okay, gotcha.
So, I'm gonna ask, of all of them, which one is the oldest? And where can I find that one?
Okay.
Take me to your leader.
They all kind of look puzzled at you. If a mushroom can look puzzled at someone,
The mushrooms go.
yeah, they tilt their
Tilt
head to
the
the
head.
side. They all kind of. It seems like they're all like. Maybe he's the oldest. Maybe it's her. Maybe it's that one. I don't know. Am I the oldest? You might be. And they just keep on like going back and forth, like arguing amongst each
I'm gonna ask where
other.
the biggest.
Yes.
I'm gonna ask them where the biggest one is.
Are you the biggest? I don't know. Maybe you are. Oh, wait. There's one way over there. It's really big. I don't know who that is. Which one is that? I don't know. I can't tell.
After like 2 minutes of just like, okay, there are mushrooms everywhere, Zin's gonna sit on top of the cart and pay attention. Does it seem like anybody might be using this as a distraction to look into other carts, for example?
Okay, make a perception check.
That's even better than my first roll. Perception?
Yeah.
It comes out to the same thing, 19.
19. That's a good roll. No, nothing strikes you as this is a distraction, because even the people who've been shady seem to be flustered and confused. And you would know who to look for first on this caravan thus far. So with a 19, you would know, hey, I'm looking at that person first, seeing what they're doing. Seems like everybody's about in the same boat, but now Shard's been moving around, kind of telling people, looks like everybody's getting ready to like strap on. You can start hearing more of these like screeches and screams as people are packing up their camps and accidentally bumping into mushrooms or stepping on like 4 or 5 of them at once and just
What happens if you just stab one, like with a dagger, just stab straight down? Does it also scream, or does it just die?
Are you gonna stab one with a dagger?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay. Zin stabs one with a dagger. You hear, ah! And I need you to make a Constitution saving throw for me.
Natural 20. My dice are on point tonight.
Those
I love
conjured earplugs, if it weren't for those, you'd be in a real bad situation. No, you're fine. You do hear the scream even though you got these earplugs in. It would have been really loud had you not have those in there. So
Yeah.
yeah, you
I wish
guys
I had a dice cam.
you guys all
I know people don't believe me sometimes.
you guys all watch this Zin just pulls out a dagger and just viciously strikes down at one of these mushrooms, which is now grown to about 8 inches tall. Now that you guys have been moving around here.
Oh, we gotta go.
Oh yeah.
They were 6 inches before, they're 8 inches now. It's only been like 5 minutes. We gotta go.
Going fast. So, Franklin, any last questions you want to ask this patch of mushrooms? Is now they're horrified because they saw one of your companions stab one of their friends.
I want to ask, do these seem? I don't know what the monster is called, or Franklin would know. But there's mushroom monsters. I don't remember what they're called. Do these seem like they might be part of that race?
They are considered a fungus. That's they are. I believe they are in the monster manual, but they don't really have any They're not gonna like uproot and then run after you and try to bite you or something like that. I mean, they're not that kind of crazy monster shroom or anything like that. But you do know now that you're starting to get the hint of all these screams and stuff. Their screams might have an effect on people.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna like run up and try and help Shard rush people on to moving since these things are growing so fast now.
Hey, Dusk starts running up, and you hear "Ow, ow, ow, ow," as he's like going through a cloud of all these like mushrooms.
Oh, crap.
As he's just running. Make a Constitution saving throw for me, Dusk.
Mm-hmm. That's a natural 20.
Oh, nice.
Hell yeah!
You're just
25.
would Dusk like? Does he have like an innate hatred of mushrooms or fungus, or does he? Is there no? Okay.
Mm-mm.
No. So yeah, but you seem to have no problem just barreling through these
Yeah.
things. Not an issue.
Probably feels bad when she starts hearing the screams, trying to be more careful after that point.
Yeah, you hear a couple of the merchants are like, stop that, please. Stop. As you're running by.
Sorry.
But it seems like everybody's getting their stuff packed up pretty well. And it looks like people are just kind of going with what Shard's been saying to everybody. And Dusk, you coming up, kind of helping him out.
Yeah.
Convincing everybody to go. One of the cultists kind of looks, from the first cultist caravan, looks towards you and said, "It's kind of freaking out the horses. What about you two?" Points to Dusk and Shard. Maybe you guys can lead the way and maybe, I don't know, maybe find some sticks or something. You can clear the path.
we really need to stay back by our caravans. You all don't have people that could do that for you?
They kind of look around at each other. You can tell they're a little bit freaked out by all the noises that these shrooms are making. How about some gold?
We're already kind of watching 2 caravans. I don't know if we can really spread
Hey,
that thinly.
your duty is to
How much?
the whole caravan.
How much gold? No. Our duty is to the ones that we get paid for.
How about what, 25 gold? How's that sound?
50.
Make a persuasion check.
Per person.
Oh God, it's not good. Persuade. That's a 10.
Okay. Let's see. See how he takes it. Are you kidding me? Okay. 30 gold. Take it or leave it.
Turn around
No,
and
just
walk
no.
away.
You know what? You know what? Take it. It's a good deal.
I just looked at Shard. Sure. I'm be right back. I'm gonna go. Zen, Franklin, we're gonna be up front clearing a path, so just make sure you keep an eye.
The whole walk back, you just heard as you were walking through more shit.
How long has it been for all that to happen?
Probably about another 15 minutes or so as you were going back.
So my spell is ended.
Oh, then
Because I only got 10 minutes on
okay.
the spell.
Well, we could go back, and if there was a couple other questions you wanted to ask, you could.
Franklin's just trying to figure out as much as possible about these mushrooms in that 10 minutes.
Okay.
See if there's a way that, like, does it actually hurt them when they get pulled? Or, like, why they're here? Or, you know, the whole, like,
You're not.
druid thing.
I guess it'd be, there's probably just most of it is natural, but there is a like Zin was saying, there is kind of a magical aura about this place. You think maybe it just enhances growth, and that might be something that's taking place here. These seem to be natural shrooms. It does hurt them when they're pulled. It kills them, which is why they give out the death scream. And the death scream is kind of like they die, but they have an effect that they leave. It's kind of like the bumblebee with its stinger. It stings, and then it goes and dies. So it's like, I'll take you with me. So the effect, just as you're taking moments to think about it and study them and talk to them, the effects of this scream basically just puts you in this mode of depression for slaughtering these creatures. And honestly, it could be as something as even corrupting your dreams to causing you to have nightmares.
Okay, does the magical seem, because frankly, I didn't prepare the spell, but I could cast it, a spell called Plant Growth. Is it something like that?
No, it's not that.
Okay.
Yeah, you would know. You would know if it was that.
Okay.
What happens if you light one on fire?
Are you gonna light one on fire?
I am tempted to light one on fire.
Okay. How
How
are you lighting this one on fire?
Well, I don't have any fiery spells, so I was just gonna use tinder.
Okay.
A little flint and steel.
Yeah, you kind of put your tinder box there. You got flint and steel. You're trying to you kind of find whatever dry sticks you can in this moist environment. But you find some, and you get like a miniature torch going, and you take it and you just stick it onto one of those mushrooms, which is now up to about 9 inches tall, and you hear a as you put it against the shroom, since it's kind of just this. I don't know. I don't think mushrooms are not gonna burst into flames or anything like that, but you put it on there and it gets this dark spot on it and it starts going. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw for me,
Pretty much, I was wondering, can we light them on fire without having to constitutionally save?
Yep.
That's okay. You're not gonna believe it. Natural 20.
Natural 20.
Yes.
You guys have come prepared for these shrooms tonight. It doesn't seem to affect you any, but you can hear like a couple of the people in the caravan are like, would you stop doing that? Oh, gosh. Seems like everybody else is doing their best to try to avoid it, and you guys are just like kicking them over, burning them, stabbing them, whatever you can do.
I mean, we just gotta see, you know, what we're working with.
So this guy is handing us money to go do this now? Is that
Yeah, he handed you
where-
a
from
pouch of 30 gold.
Can I do a quick insight check to see if these people seem like they have any ulterior motive to sending us ahead of the caravan?
Yeah, make an
Or if they
insight check.
really just want to sell. Ooh, that's not good. 6.
Your passive insight tells you that not anybody really wants to volunteer for this job, so they're just trying to find somebody that they don't really know and don't really care about to do it.
Okay. I want to do a quick look around. He did ask us to clear the mushrooms in front of them.
Yeah, basically
Caravan, right?
off the trail, so that way they can just that way it doesn't. It might freak out the horses in the front cart or the first 2 carts, but right now, if they were just going through, the carts would be kind of on. They're always going to be on different paths, and every time the horse would step or wheel would go over, it would smush at different levels of mushrooms, and it would just freak out the horses throughout the whole caravan. So
I want to see if I can find like a rock that's about that big, or maybe a hollowed out stump or something like that.
okay.
Something heavy enough to smush a mushroom. The goal is I'm trying to find something that I could just crush them quickly with
Yeah.
and suppress some of the noise that comes out of them as they're smushed.
Are you trying to do this quickly, or because that would take an awful long time to do it that way? You're talking about you can see these mushrooms about a mile ahead of you.
Oh, really?
So
God.
you're like,
Okay, never mind.
then take another step and.
Okay. In that case, I won't do that. I will,
Like the best bet would be have like a big long scythe in this situation, just like start
well,
cleaving.
what I'd like to rig up then is these mushrooms aren't difficult to pull out, right?
No, not at all. They come
Okay.
right out of the ground.
I want to tie a rope to either end of my shield, like the top and the bottom, and then turn it sideways and pull it behind me, so I'm just like dragging them mushrooms up.
Yes.
But get as much distance as I can so that I'm not right next to them while they're screaming. Basically, I want to plow the mushrooms.
You're gonna plow the shrooms. That is
Yes.
that is great. That is fantastic. Dusk, how do you plan to work on these mushrooms here?
I mean, I was just gonna use my short swords because I don't really have any shield or anything fancy like what he's doing. So I was just gonna cut him.
You just gonna cut them? Sure. Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys are just gonna move about and start doing that on the trail. Okay, I need you guys
The people,
Yeah.
the people that hired us, those 2 wagons,
Yeah.
I'm gonna start handing out moss to all of them, including our party, so they could cover their ears.
The dwarf Lai looks at you and he's like, "You want me to do what?"
Put it in your ear so the noise won't bother you so much.
To be 100% honest, I think I'm okay with the noise. As he looks at this pile of moss in his hand.
I mean, Franklin's got moss on his face.
You see some of the other merchants and people around are just like holding it. The teamster, the halfling that's kind of sitting on the seat of the wagon, basically with the reins of the horses, looks at it a little quizzically at first, but then just reluctantly takes it, and you watch him go, cringing as he's like stuffing moss in his ears. And he hollers back out loud, it's not so bad. Am I gonna be able to get
Franklin
it back
gets
out?
great joy. Of course you can. It doesn't grow that fast.
You watch him, he takes it, clumps it up a little bit tighter in his hands. Can't believe I'm doing this. Boy, I tell you what, there better be so much gold waiting for me in Waterdeep. I want to swim in it. And he shoves the moss in his ears.
Franklin gets great joy out of this. Getting these normal people to put moss in their ears.
There's like 15 people in the middle of the caravan now that all have moss sticking out of their ears. It's quite.
And I only offered it to the people we're working for.
You know, some random dudes behind you just picking up wads of like dirt and grass and like shoving it in their ears.
No, that might not come out as well.
That might not.
Yeah, that seems a little worse than the moss.
Some of them accidentally bumping a shroom and it goes, ah! And they're like, ah! The two up front need to make Constitution saving throws for me, please. Because even if you're trying to drag these behind you, Shard, they're still screaming loudly as you guys are taking a mass of them out at a time.
Franklin would have walked up to them and gave them earplugs too.
Okay. What did you roll, Dusk?
15.
15, you're fine. The moss earplugs seem to be helping everybody. Shard,
13.
13, you're fine as well. You guys seem to be just pushing through, making your way through the shrooms. Eventually, you guys reach, going through the fog of the early morning. The fog eventually lifts, and the shrooms eventually thin out, and then dissipate, and then it just continues on a wet path before you because of all the rain. And the caravan continues on as normal. You guys have made it through the sea of screaming shrooms.
Sounds like a bad like metal band.
That's awesome, yeah. Caravan continues.
Franklin's gonna take one of the smaller mushrooms, like on the very edge, or maybe they didn't grow so much, and transplant it onto his shell.
Okay. So you're gonna,
Like dig around it, so you're not like plucking
kill
it.
it. You don't
Yeah,
pluck
like dig around it, and just like transplant it onto the moss on his shell,
Okay.
because that should be plenty of moist
Okay, yeah.
for the fungus.
Yeah, you got a shroom, about a 10-inch tall mushroom that's just like chilling on your shoulder. And then your little frog companion friend just like hops over onto the other shoulder, and just like licks your face, and just chilling there.
Just keeps going now.
But yeah, you guys, the day's travel goes pretty easy. Tonum, I didn't know if you wanted to discuss with the group the conversation that you had with Jamna by the fire, or if you were keeping that information to yourself. I was waiting for you to get back before we delve back into that. You remember the gist of it was she knew that you guys weren't working for the same people, but you had the same. She felt that you guys had the same mission, so to speak.
Yeah.
And asked for your help in finding out exactly what was on these wagons, the first 5 caravan wagons.
I don't think he would go into the details of the conversation. He would say, like, we can trust her.
Okay. So you guys are equipped with that information on this
Whether or
second
not
night.
you guys believe me, that's
Oh, we're getting a robot on you, Aunt. There you go. Now you're coming back to us.
it's the swearing. You just gotta swear, and then Discord works.
That's it. Yeah, that's how it works. You know.
Is that better?
Yes, much better.
Yes.
This is a family-friendly show. We can't swear on this show.
Well,
Well, it's that or robot. I don't
It seems.
I don't
it
know
seems
how
like
to fix it right away, you know.
All right. Anybody else doing anything during this day of travel? In particular?
I mean, of course, after we cleared the mushrooms, I would go back to my carts, not stay up front. So.
Okay.
How clear is it by the time we get past the mushrooms, like weather-wise?
It's still overcast, but the rain has stopped. Your best bet from what you've experienced, Shard, is it'll probably stay cloudy most of the day, but it seems like the worst of it is past.
Okay. I'll probably stick close to the caravan too then.
Okay.
And just keep an eye on things as best as I can.
Okay. Anything for Zin?
I'm just chilling in my caravan, taking care of my people, you know,
Okay.
playing hacky sack sometimes.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Tonum, anything in particular you'd be doing?
Just chilling, keeping an eye out.
Okay. Franklin's just chilling with his buddies. He's
Mending.
mending. Franklin goes back to where the shrooms are and he's trying to fix all the shrooms. You guys do travel another day. Man, you're about this travel from Daggerford to Waterdeep is not too far. It's only about a 4-day travel. So after your second day is completed, you guys wake up from a second day of resting. This one is a lot drier than it was the night before, as it seems that the weather has cleared up and the ground is starting to get dry and it's much better. You guys are sitting around the morning fire that you guys got going on. It seems like a lot of you have got some kind of bowls of breakfast, even some of you. It seems like a lot of times what the caravan will do is somebody will be, they even like put different people in charge of like making a big bulk breakfast, and some people can go over and get things from that. Mostly it's like just simple oatmeals and stuff like that, some simple fruits and vegetables to go with, or fruits, to go with it for the morning breakfast. Dusk, as you're kind of chomping down on your breakfast, you guys hear the patter of footsteps slowly making their way up to you. And Tonum, you recognize them immediately, and you look up, and Jamna's actually standing next to you guys. She actually really quickly takes a dagger out and shoves it into Dusk's food. It splatters into the oatmeal.
I cast Mage Hand and put it around her throat.
She goes, ah! And she pulls out the dagger and the food, and it's like just running off the dagger, like this slop. And it looks like there's something on the end of the dagger blade.
What is it?
It looks kind of small at first, but it's bigger than oatmeal. And she's just sitting there. It looks like she's trying to say something, but she's being strangled by a magical, mystical hand.
Zen,
You want me to finish her? I'll finish her up.
Let her go.
Nobody stabs my buddy's food.
The food bully!
I'll let go of her throat.
Okay. She reaches up with her other hand and just grabs her throat. She looks at you, Dusk, and she's like, well, she wouldn't be leaning down. I mean, you're probably sitting down, but she's only about that tall, so she leans a little bit closer to you, and points the end of the dagger, and she says, "It's a slither of bone, curled into a circle, so you can swallow it in a mouthful of gruel without noticing. Once eaten, it slowly uncurls inside you, exposing needle points that pierce your guts and kill you slowly. I suspect they're in all your breakfasts." And she looks around at all of you. Then she grabs her fingers and kind of like runs them down the blade to get the rest of the oatmeal off, and like flicks it down onto the ground. Sheathes her dagger, gives you all like a quick glance, starts to turn around and walk away.
Just saying, there was probably a better way to do that where you wouldn't have gotten choked.
Conveniently,
Yeah.
Franklin
We've had
doesn't eat
people
the
try to
food
steal
there,
his
so-
food before, and I had to take care of it. You know.
I appreciate it, son.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You hear, "You're welcome." She
I'm gonna-
walks away.
I'm gonna use my summoned mage hand to like rifle through, because I know my mage hand's clean. I'm gonna use it to like rifle through my oatmeal and see if it's in my oatmeal too.
Okay, make a perception check.
And I'm gonna do
Actually,
the same.
let's make this. This will be more investigation.
Okay. All right. 17.
17. Okay. As your mage hand is digging through and you're kind of pulling through, looking at what your mage hand is pulling out, you see that there are several small lumps in your oatmeal that could be one of these. It could be just another chunk of oatmeal, though. It could be sawdust, clumps of sawdust. You even have one point where you think it could possibly be an insect egg.
I'm just gonna not eat this oatmeal. It seems like there's a bunch of nasty crap in it.
Did she take the bone circle thing that she took out, or she put that on the ground?
It appeared that she slapped it down on the ground.
Can I find that?
Go make an investigation check.
It looks like I'm gonna be eating dry rations for the rest of the trip.
That is 5, I believe. Oh, 6.
Yeah, you're like reaching down, you grab something. It looks like maybe what she had on there, but then again, it looks like it could be just oak husks stuck together. You're just not really sure. It's just all like mixed together.
Okay. Did anybody by chance see anybody making? Was this like a big like group thing?
Yeah.
Like
a lot of people
get
went
it from like a
together.
pot?
Yeah, I got it like a big pot, open pot. So even the people that
How many
made
people
it,
got this?
even the people that made it, might not be responsible if they did something like
Uh-huh.
that. Because anybody can walk up to it and just slip something in there, you know.
Does it look like everybody's eating it?
There's a lot of people eating it, yeah. People are just like laughing, having a good time at breakfast.
Oh.
Do we say something? Do we not say something? Now I'm
I
like,
mean, I think we should say something just in case this wasn't just in ours.
hey, everybody stop eating.
Some of them, like, they look up to you. Why?
Apparently somebody put some bone things in our oatmeal, and if we eat them, they're gonna open up in our bellies and like produce spikes or something.
One of them's like jaw hits the floor. It's just this clump of oatmeal falls out of their mouth like as they're spitting it out. What?
You're as surprised as I am, honestly.
Throws the bowl in the air and just like starts walking off. Some of them are trying to induce vomiting into the forest off to the side.
This bone thing is something that someone would have to have like constructed, right? It's not just there's some animal whose bones will do this at some point in their life, right? It's
For what you can know, yeah, probably. You're not 100%
Okay.
sure, but
Can I make a nature check on the bone thing?
you could if you could find the bone thing. Dusk wasn't able to find it. He wasn't really sure what he was looking at.
Okay, I guess I'll look for one.
Okay, make an investigation check.
Oh boy, guys, I'm good at those. Oh, I might actually be good at those. 19.
Okay, you're looking around, you find something, and you pick it up, and it's just so hard to tell. It could be oatmeal. Man, this one could be some kind of. Oh, is that a caterpillar?
But Franklin's just gonna clean it off.
Okay.
Whatever he found.
Okay, yeah, you start cleaning it off, and it all like breaks apart. It was just a bunch of oatmeal stuck together.
Okay, Franklin's gonna grab the one that was stabbed then by the one lady
The bowl that was stabbed.
and just Yeah, with the
Okay.
piece of the bone in it.
Okay.
I'm just gonna grab that one.
Okay. And so just digging
And
through it.
then. No, well, you said that it was on her knife, right?
Yeah, but she like
it
flicked
fell
it
to
off
the
onto the ground with a bunch of other
Oh.
oatmeal. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Awful person.
How dare they slap oatmeal onto the ground in this place?
Yeah, so wasteful. Franklin's gonna spend all morning, all breakfast, going through everybody's bowl until he finds one.
Yeah, I'm like
Okay.
pouring my bowl out on the ground and like moving it around in the
So you're
dirt to try to
digging
like clean
through
it
the
off.
oatmeal.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, clarification here.
This is awesome.
Did she give us a good look at this thing before she flicked it off, or did she just say
Yeah,
what it
that's what
was?
Not really.
I'm starting to think.
Not
Too.
really a good look.
Okay.
It was all covered.
It's-
It was a lump, but it was all covered in like oatmeal and grime and all kinds of other stuff.
Okay.
As Zin is back there digging on the ground through a bunch of oatmeal, like throwing some over his shoulder. Things are breaking apart. Oatmeal, like you find a chunk and then it breaks apart and just oat clumps.
There's nothing. There's nothing in there.
Not,
Can I go
Can
find
I?
this
not,
person?
not a sign.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can I do insight on her? Like, go find her and do it.
Did you want to do an insight? Like, how do you want to?
Well, just I want to go talk to her
Yeah, you can
and
go talk
like
to her.
figure out if she's telling the truth.
It seems like Shard's wanting to go too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you guys can approach her. Sure. She seems to be wiping off her dagger with a rag as you guys approach.
You managed to cause quite a panic.
Gotta make sure you stay on your toes.
And how did you know they were there?
How did I know they were there?
Yeah.
Do you think you can trust those people? How do you know that they don't know about you yet?
I don't.
We've been here the whole time. They should know about us. Unless they're very stupid.
I mean, do they really know you? Do they know what you're up to?
It's possible they do, it's possible they don't. However, going up and stabbing someone's oatmeal and then claiming to find a thing that will kill them and getting rid of it before they can see, must admit, is a bit suspicious.
Or a very good joke.
She kind of, well, you see almost a little smirk appear on her face, and what Shard says, and she looks back at you, Tottenham, and is like, let's just say in my 2 days travel with you, I've noticed that you guys have been rather, I don't know, I think a little too trusting and complacent. It's time I thought I would stir the pot and get you guys back on your focus.
So there was nothing in the bowl.
Only what you choose to believe was in the bowl.
And I would like to roll insight.
Okay?
And during
As
this,
they're
Franklin's
talking-
going through other people's oatmeal.
And it's a natural one.
Doesn't care.
Franklin's just grabbing other people's bowls and like digging through it, throwing oatmeal in the air.
Yep.
Just
Is that a natural one?
natural one.
Plus 0.
Definitely could have been something on her knife. You're getting the vibe that she's not 100% really trying to hide it from you right now, though.
Yeah.
So, but you're not sure if you 100% trust her. Either way.
As they're talking, is there like a pot of like still a pot of
Yeah.
oatmeal?
Yeah, there's a pot of oatmeal over where
Can I grab that whole pot?
It's pretty heavy, but you're a pretty big furbog, so yeah, I would say you could probably grab it.
All right, I'm gonna try to just like casually walk farther, like walk up behind her maybe, and just dump it all on her head.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Make a stealth check with disadvantage because you're carrying a massive pot of oatmeal. And I don't think are you super strong? Like, what's your character's strength?
I have an 8.
Oh.
Strength.
Oh.
But he also has powerful build,
I have powerful.
so he's considered
Yeah.
one size category larger. So
Yeah.
Okay. What did you roll in your stealth check?
A 13 and a 14, so that comes out to a 13.
That's pretty impressive, my friend. That's pretty impressive.
Thanks.
I do need to double check her character sheet really fast to see if what I rolled beats you. I didn't think it was going to be that close, but it is. So this should make things rather interesting.
I hope she doesn't beat me. I really hope she doesn't beat me.
You said you rolled a 13?
Yeah.
Okay. I've got my number. So you're
think she
you're trying
beat
to
me.
do the football coach that's about to win the championship game.
Yeah.
With the Gatorade.
I'll leave the pot on her head though. Like I'll just sink it right over if I can.
Okay. Tonum and Shard, you guys are watching this because you're standing in front of this woman talking to him, and you see this massive furball sneak around one of the caravan wagons, and he's tiptoeing. He's got this massive bowl that you know they cook breakfast in, and he's just eyeballing you guys the whole time, going. And you watch as Shard and Tonum, like you're making eye contact with Zin behind her, and what would your facial expressions be at this point as you see him sneaking up behind?
Probably like rub the back of the neck. Just like, oh, this is not gonna end well.
I'm gonna let you guys help
Just
him.
smile.
I'm gonna let you help him. Each one of you make a deception check. And this will determine the outcome because we'll see. I'm gonna give you some help, Zin.
Not my skill. Oh, well. 14.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. It all comes down to Shard's roll.
I think it's 14.
I think he said 14.
Yeah.
Oh, 14?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. She almost thinks she hears something. And then looking at your expressions as you guys do that, she buys it. And then you hear there's all this like nasty oatmeal and stuff is just dumped all over. You just putting the whole thing over top of her head.
Yeah, the whole
And
thing.
it's just like
Gotta keep on your toes.
and he goes you hear inside all this the can. She's just
that's
like,
also really hot,
it's
probably.
probably pretty
That's
hot.
not
Yeah.
bad.
I'll just like smack the side of it for good measure, you know?
I would say it's probably
Oh.
later on.
Oh, gosh. Oh, Lord, what's happening?
Yeah, I don't know. We're getting some static from somebody. I'm not sure if it's like an input or something on somebody's headphones.
It's probably the shitty headphones that I bought when I booked in the morning because they're real crap.
Oh.
It'll get you through this evening, right?
Yep, that was kind of the point.
Yeah, she tosses this thing off of her, looks around, and she looks right back at you, takes her hand and like smears some of the oatmeal all over her face and like flicks it at you, Zen, and you get like a bunch of this. That's incredibly immature. And she starts just like storming away.
The feeling's mutual.
She just like, as she's walking away, she's just going. There's piles and piles of oatmeal just laying. There's a trail of oatmeal following behind her.
You don't mess with a man's meal.
This is a good trip.
Thanks for the help, guys. I really appreciate it.
I didn't do anything.
I'll probably regret that.
What was your
later,
name
but
again?
Oh well.
Shard? I think I'm gonna call you Shard from now on.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay. Thanks, Tonum.
Just hope I don't regret this.
It's okay. It's alright. Everything will be okay.
She did have a
right?
point though. We
Yeah, but she
should
ruined
probably
breakfast.
Well, yes, that too. She did. We should probably pay more attention to our food. Make sure nothing is going in.
That's fair. I'll turn around and go back to Dusk.
Okay. Dusk, I'm sure that even though you weren't there, the commotion probably attracted most of the attention of the entire caravan as this female gnome has basically been covered in oatmeal by your companion, your friend Zin.
I'm just curious have I ever heard of anything like that item that she was saying that was in my oatmeal with my background or anything like that,
You probably never heard of that in particular. You wouldn't.
or anything similar.
I mean, you've heard of people poisoning people's food before.
Yeah, but not
like putting something in it that would. I mean,
okay.
that would do that specific of a thing, but
Okay.
there's no telling. You know, there's some crazy people out there in the world, so you never know.
Yeah.
So, that seems to end this little brief breakfast encounter. The caravan begins to move off after breakfast. Some people are complaining they're hungry before lunch because of the having to dump out all their food.
I apologize for my bad memory. The lady who did this just now with the knife and all that,
Yeah.
Is that the one who was snooping around?
Yes,
That's
that was the
okay,
that
just
was the
making sure.
newcomer when you guys left Daggerford.
About halfway through the day after she's had time to cool off,
Literally.
I'm gonna see if I can just mosey on over to her again.
Okay. She seems to be, she's got herself cleaned up a bit. She's not wearing her hat anymore. It's like an edge of somebody's caravan wagon, like catching some sunlight. She's trying to dry everything out as she's like wiped herself clean of all the oatmeal. But yeah, you can approach her.
Okay. Is she alone?
Most of the time, she does spend most of the time away from everybody else. I mean, she's still part of the caravan, but you got her out of earshot right now. Looks like she's still picking oatmeal out of gloves and stuff, out of her gloves. And, like,
Perfect.
Deserves it.
Yeah. For real.
She smells like brown sugar and.
I'll walk up to her and I'll just hold up my hand.
She looks at your hand and looks up at you as she's picking some more oatmeal out.
No
What?
hard feelings.
Hard feelings? You just watched your friend dump oatmeal all over me this morning.
Yes.
Of course there's hard feelings.
I look around. Not many friends.
She looks down for a minute. She's like, me neither.
I was talking about you.
Yes. Shard, take a point of DM's inspiration for that.
But
She looks a little stunned at that as she's like processing. You don't talk to people much, do you?
I have more friends when I am by myself.
Interesting. Now, look, I had a conversation with your one friend you were talking to. We were talking together with earlier, that Tottenham. Listen. You know, you may not agree, but I see a lot in common with both of us here. Seem to be a little bit of an outcast. Maybe you can talk to the rest of them. Maybe you can, I don't know, for some reason or one or not, they didn't like my joke very, very much this morning. You know, I was just trying to, you know, light a little bit of a fire.
That's a joke.
You know? But maybe you can talk to them. I need to figure out what's on these wagons. I mean, to be honest, I'm gonna do it with or without your help, but it'd be better with. You catching my drift?
What do you suspect?
I don't 100% know. My hunch is stolen goods, but I need to put my eyes on it first. I want to see it. I want to know.
What do you want from Shard?
Talk the rest of your group if you can. Or just get that one to stop dumping oatmeal on me.
Nope.
Maybe tonight we can do some snooping around after everybody's asleep.
Caravan moves same pace every day. Make good time. You move slower at first, then quicker. This is when people watch you. The boulder moves when it is time. Be patient. How many days left do we have of travel, Mike?
2 days.
2 days?
Yep.
Okay.
And you'll be at Waterdeep.
And by that, do you mean there's only one more night to spend, or are there 2 nights?
I would say there's 2 nights. Like the early in the morning on that third day, you guys all arrive at Waterdeep, so you're there in the morning.
Okay. Do I have any inkling of who this person might be working for or with?
Make an insight check.
$14.
Not really.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to stop talking and just walk quietly by them.
Okay.
For as long as I think it'll take. What was her name again?
Jamna.
Jamna. I wanted to say Vemna. I knew that was wrong. Until I think Jamna is kind of like just accepts my presences and is no longer paying that much attention. And then I'm going to try and slink back without her noticing.
Okay. Go ahead and make a stealth check.
Trying to make a point about methodology. That is a 22.
A 22? Oh yeah, no problem. You're just, to her, you're gone. Nice. Yeah. That'd be cool if you could wheel yourself right off the screen. just go.
I'll hit the heater. I can't go that far.
I was thinking that gif with Homer Simpson just sinking into the bush. Yeah,
it's timeless. We'll never die.
That's it. How about the rest of you? Anything else during the course of this day of travel? As in is plotting.
Nope, Franklin's waiting till nighttime.
Okay, perfect. Zin seems to be plotting something else that he can dump on this woman.
Yeah, he's like, you messed with my food, and that's the worst thing to mess with. I am hungry for sunshine.
I want to see if I want to sort of, because is our caravan directly behind the cultist caravan?
Didn't you guys say you positioned yourselves closer to them like a while ago? Yeah, I think after the cultist caravan, you guys have like one. There's the brewer guy is like right there. The guy who has like the the brewery on wheels. And then you got Lai's caravan, and Samerdags is right behind his. So
I want to get within 30 feet of the last cart
okay.
that the cultists have, and just with my mage hand see if I can figure out how their stuff is tied down.
Okay.
Like see if I can release it with the mage hand, but then like immediately strap back in. Like I don't want them to know that. Like I don't want the canvas to start flapping. More just I know that I can do it quickly.
Okay. Okay. Can you make a stealth check for me as you're doing this? Because you're doing this during the day, so.
Is a 14.
14. Okay. These guys can't perceive anything. Terrible.
I can't really hear you anymore.
Yeah,
We're getting static.
we're getting a
again.
lot of static, Ani. I think it's maybe
Yeah,
the input.
shitty headphones.
The input from your
Yeah.
headphones maybe moving around.
Yeah, these are definitely getting returned.
Yeah.
Sorry, what did you say?
You move the canvas a little bit. It looks like the canvas is tied down. It looks like just with just rope,
Okay.
and it looks like just like these metal rings that are on the bottom of the wagon. It looks like they're just pulled tight and then tied in a just a pretty strong knot.
Okay. That's good. I'm done. I just wanted to know like how it was secured so that when doing it in the dark would be better able to
Okay.
do it quickly.
Sure. Perfect. So Franklin said he was waiting to the evening.
Yeah, as soon as what's her name goes to sleep, I want to sneak up on her.
Jamna? Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna cast Pass Without Trace.
What if, question for you. What if you notice that she's not going to sleep?
Then, like she's just not sleeping at all that night?
No,
Because Franklin will stay up. I will take that point of exhaustion.
Okay. You're gonna stay up too? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're like sitting there at the camp, just waiting for her to go to sleep. But you every once in a while take a look over at her fire, and she's sitting there. Looks like sometimes she's just stoking the fire, putting more wood on it. Sometimes she's got her knife out and she's like whittling something. It doesn't appear like she's preparing to sleep or anything like that.
I'm gonna cast Detect Magic.
Before we go on, was there
Just
anything
go right
before we go on with this? Because we're in the kind of like the nighttime scene with you guys. Did anybody else have anything to do during the day, or did you guys want to fast forward to this?
Yeah, we can fast forward.
I'm good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you wanted to cast what? What was that, Franklin?
Detect Magic. Does she have any sort of auras, magical auras on her?
Let me double check.
All right, because there's got to be a reason why she don't sleep.
Well, she has slept before. You guys have noticed that she's gone to sleep before.
She just got plans tonight. I mean, I would probably talk to Dusk about like me and him running like sleep shifts, basically.
Just like some watches.
Yeah, because she's sketchy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll definitely do that.
Okay. Shard and Tonum, was there anything like with that whole encounter? Is there anything that you wanted to talk to Zin or the rest of the group about? Franklin, you're not getting any magical auras coming from her, or just not in general, nothing from her.
Okay. I guess then it's cast pass without trace and try to sneak up on her.
Okay.
That is a 28 on my end.
That's good. That's really good. Because I actually rolled really good too, but you still didn't.
That plus 10 is probably what saved me. Otherwise, it'd be an 18.
Tauntem and Shard, anything before we kind of skip on to what Franklin's doing here?
During dinner, Tanim would talk with Zin and Dusk.
Okay.
And Franklin if he's around, but
He would have been around for dinner, probably.
Yep, eating swamp lettuce.
As ill-advised as her actions may be, I don't believe that Jamna is intending any ill towards us. And I believe she intends to try and infiltrate the caravan tonight. And has asked for our help. Whether or not we accept that invitation, it could be good cover for us to do our own investigation.
Well, if we can, our main mission was finding where they were going, and if we could find what they were doing is secondary. So if we can do that without being found out, then I would say sure. Because we do not want them finding out that we are tailing them.
Remember the last person that actually looked at their stuff and tried to take something? Not that I'm saying you would take something, but I definitely think she would take something. They were killed in their sleep. And we can't really afford to be killed in our sleep. Unfortunately, else we probably would have already done this. Why don't we just let her die? You know?
Waste.
What if we helped in small ways that could not be linked or would not be active, and then gained the information that she is able to acquire without putting our own necks out?
Do we even know who she's working for?
No.
Not the caravan.
So we don't know what her intentions
you said
are.
she was a harper.
She's not a harper.
The guy we
She's not
sent off was a
okay.
harper.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think the best option here would be to stop her from trying to do that.
We don't know her affiliation. We don't know what she wants to do with the information.
Mainly because if she gets caught, she knows that we are also, or she has a hunch that we are also looking into them. She could tell them that. So I think we should stop her from actually trying to do that.
I have a plan.
We just tip them off.
Leave it to me.
That is not a good idea.
What is your plan, Franklin?
I'm just gonna point to the mushroom on my shoulder.
Yes.
That really tells us what your idea is.
That isn't a very annoying mushroom, if that's what you're trying to say. I don't...
Super annoying.
You will see.
I really don't think I want to be surprised by this plan in particular. I'd like to be prepared for this one, I think.
Especially if we're gonna have to hear the noise again.
That's why. No? Alright. I guess we'll be surprised.
And at that moment, as you're all sitting around the fire finishing up your evening meal, that's where we're going to stop tonight's episode of Delve and Dash.
You didn't let me do it.
Do me a favor, Dalton, keep track of that roll for me. And just put down like a note
Okay.
maybe in the chat that you succeeded on it, because I did roll high, but it still wasn't high enough. So we'll go with whatever Franklin's plan is at the beginning of next week's episode of Delve and Dash. We hope that you guys enjoyed this episode, as this group is just man, this is a mystery we got going on so far. So we're not really 100% sure who's working for who's doing what, who's putting stuff in people's oatmeal. It's wild. I'm excited. I can't wait to see what happens and how this all turns out and how it plays out. So thank you guys once again for tuning in. We will be back next week for another exciting episode as we dive back into some Delve and Dash. So you guys have a great night, and don't forget to add your proficiency bonus. We'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one. Bye, everybody.
Good night, everybody.